Happy All Saints Day, everyone. On November 1st, every year we celebrate this feast day, this solemnity that is a day that we are supposed to go to church and honor all of the saints. So, first of all, what is a saint? Let's remind ourselves of that first. So, a saint is someone that we believe is in heaven, either canonized as a saint from the church or anyone else who's there. So, we just honor all of the saints today in heaven. And so these can be like people like Saint Joseph or Saint Patrick or anyone else that we know is in heaven. Or maybe your very, very holy grandmother who you just have no doubt that she is now in heaven. But also, why do we celebrate All Saints Day? Because we have these Saints Days throughout the year, so why wouldn't we just leave it at that? Why do we have this All Saints Day? One reason might be is that there are actually more canonized saints than there are in the church's calendar. In fact, there are more that don't have their own day than those who do. So this is a good way to encapsulate all of them in one day. But it's also a good day for us to reflect on sainthood. So why would we celebrate this day? Well, I think that we should see something too, that our honor of the saints really doesn't have any effect on them. The saints really could care less that we honor them in heaven. Not that they are uncaring or unfeeling, but they have God there as their comfort. God is the one who is giving them their strength and their joy, and He is their all in all when they are in heaven. So why would we venerate them? Well, Saint Bernard of Clairvaux once wrote that he said, "Yes, my honor to the saints gives them nothing, but when I honor the saints, I am filled with a sense of yearning. I'm inflamed with this sense of yearning for holiness." That's why we honor the saints. A good story that kind of encapsulates that principle was St. Ignatius of Loyola. He was the founder of the Jesuit society, the Society of Jesus. And so he, as a young man, was a soldier, and he just wanted to be great. As a man, as a soldier, he was all about these stories of different soldiers and their victories in battle. And so he was just almost like these comic books that would come out, and he would just devour those because he loved the stories of all of these virtuous, these righteous people who won victory in battle. But then when he was himself in battle, he got his leg broken by a cannonball, and so he was convalescing in a hospital, and there was nothing for him to read. And so what he did find, though, was a Bible and a book of the lives of the saints. And because of his reading of the lives of the saints, he became inflamed with this passion for holiness himself. That led him to a deep conversion in his life to pursue holiness, to be a saint himself. And it's that same sort of principle that we are called to imitate, or that is the same for us when we venerate the saints. We are supposed to see their stories and see that's an example of holiness. These are ordinary human beings who lived virtuous lives that we can imitate ourselves. And so there's so many different examples of different saints who show us different things. And so that's the beauty of our worship of the saints, is not our worship of the saints, but rather our veneration of the saints. We don't worship saints. That they show us so many different ways to holiness. And so today, as we celebrate this All Saints Day, let's pray boldly to the Father, to God, that we might be saints one day. Sometimes we have a low opinion of ourselves that, I don't think I could ever be like that. I could never be a saint. Well, that's baloney, because that's what we're called to. That's what God desires for us. And He desires it more than we do. So let's not poo-poo that desire or the desire of all the saints, because they want us up in heaven as well. Ask the Father today, pray boldly for that grace to be a saint, to grow each day in holiness, because He desires it. He wants us to be in heaven with Him. He wants all of us, and we are all called to be saints.